are live. What's good, Josh? Your man, DL Saint. Welcome. I really want to know podcast, man. How y'all feeling? Summer schedule. I know you guys are like, what's going on, Unc, man? You just all over the place. Yes, I am. It's summertime, and my little girl ain't here. Just so you guys know, we have some stuff going on at our property. They're doing some maintenance, so you might hear some noise as we get into this interview. Like right now, they're actually they're using power cleaning tools. You know, just water to clean up a bunch of stuff, and they were literally at the door. And even though I'm up in the attic, I'm up in the loft, you can still hear it. So you might get that. It is all good. It is what it is. Today we have a really good episode, man. One that I am really excited about, man. We got Brother Viking Paradigm in the house, and he is going to break down the text, all of the technology behind social media, in particular YouTube. We're going to be talking about the AI. We're going to be talking about the algorithm, keywords, shadow banning, all that good shit, man. I'm really excited, man. I hope y'all excited too. Let's get into it. And we are live. What's good, y'all? Welcome to the I Really Want to Know podcast, y'all. Get some indeed, man. That's how we get down. We're about to have a good old time here. We got Sister Jody in the building already. What's good, sis? Good to see you always. How about them Bengals? I'm ready for this season, girl. I know you ready too. We got Brother Pablo Chicano in the building. What's good, man? Come on, star, bro. Cake down, come on, star, brother. Yeah, so let's just get into it, man. I'm real eager to see what's it all about, man. You know, I've been doing this YouTube thing for a while, and I'm old. It is what it is. This is a whole new world to me. Brother Viking Paradigm was nice enough to take time out of his day to break it all down for us, man. So, you know, without further ado, here he is, Brother Viking Paradigm in the flesh. Don DeMarco.
Greetings.
How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. Beautiful day out today, so I'm just chilling.
Yeah, same thing down here. Not terribly hot. Decent day out today. I was ran out to grab some lunch, and I saw a little mother duck and her ducklings trying to get across a busy intersection in my neighborhood. And, like, people like jumping out of their cars, risking their life to save the duckling. But there's a homeless dude over there. No one wanted to help him, give him some water or give him a sandwich. I talked about it. I did a quick video on it. I was like, maybe we should help each other. But that's another story for another day. Hey, man, I want to give you the floor, bro. I want to give you a one shot so you can let everyone know who may not know you, who you are, what you're about, how we came to know one another. And then, then I'll jump back up here when it's time to actually talk about the topic of the day.
Yes, sir. So I'm Viking Paradigm. Tarl, Myron's doxed me, so it's already too late. I'm the, quote, fresh and fit internet guy. So I've been helping Myron officially since the night of the 100K episode where they hit 100K subscribers, but I've been working behind the scenes since the beginning as a YouTube moderator. And basically I've been in tech for quite a while now, right? I'm a geek, right? You nerd, whatever you want to call it. So I know quite a bit about this, so that's kind of my claim to fame, is being the fresh and fit internet guy. But then I actually wanted to get into, people always, wonder, like, well, how do you know all this stuff? Like, you seem to be a know-it-all about this. So you're like, well, how do you know what makes you the expert? Right. So what makes me the expert is I've been building my own computers. I got upset with, console hardware limitations with PlayStation 3 back in about 2009. And I started like getting my own computer, building my own computers. I built my first computer in 2013. So I've been doing this for about a decade now. And I got into Call of Duty. I loved Call of Duty. That's why I was having lag issues and stuff like that. And I just went problem solving. I went hunting around the internet, watched hundreds of hours of content on like how the YouTube algorithm works and whatnot, and started doing videos. I ended up becoming it got monetized on YouTube back in the day. And then I ended up getting a machinima contract. Now, back in the day, you needed a partner network contract in order to save you from potentially getting sued by Activision, right? Because they would stick their lawyers on you for making their content. They'd copyright claim you, and you'd be screwed. You didn't have the money to defend yourself. So you had to be in a partner network that had a team of lawyers that could actually go to bat for you, right? So I signed the contract and I read all these contracts. It's part of how I know a lot of stuff about like the monetization side of things and keywords and everything, because I read that stuff thoroughly twice, even though it hurt my brain because it's all legalese and it's deliberately ambiguously worded. So that way you kind of struggle to understand it if you don't know what you're doing and you don't have a lawyer there advising you. So I struggled through that, looking up keywords and stuff like that, figured it out, tried to interpret it the best I could, got that machinima contract, same thing, found out what I could and couldn't do. And this is where I really got into it. Like I watched all this content and I got into the machinima side of things, and they had a little section where they had 3 former Google engineers that were working for them, right? And this is where the good sauce is at. And they straight up said, yo, like you can learn all this stuff online. And I'm just like, yeah, already did that, just by watching, like hundreds of videos. And they're like, but we're going to boil down like what we've learned. And here's the key thing. Even Google engineers, people that work for YouTube, they compartmentalize the shit out of all that sort of information. So there's nobody at YouTube, let alone Google, that actually really knows how the algorithm works, except for the departments that work on it specifically. And those people are paid really well, and you never hear from those sort of people that are working directly with that. So the thing that you can do, though, that they explained is that you can watch cause and effect, right? So you can see how the certain channels react and whatnot in terms of like the algorithm side of things, and you can tune your setup based on understanding that. So first and foremost, they put together a list of like do's and don'ts as content creators, right? And that's the main point of that section. So I went through that in its entirety and tried to absorb all that as best as possible. So that's my background. That's what makes me an expert, is that not only did I do all that reading, all that research, all that PC building, so I know the software, hardware, contract side, I know all of this stuff because I just am anal retentive and OCD and I couldn't stop reading.
Bro,
Makes me an expert.
that's what's up, man. That's what, hey, sounds like we got the dude we want to talk to, right? And there's gonna be all sorts of folks out there saying this and that, and you're not an expert because you didn't go to MIT, or you're not an expert because you didn't write this book. At the end of the day, listening to you, it's like, bro, the legalese part, facts. And we've all dealt with that. Every contract we sign, you sign it, and it's like, who actually sits there and reads through everything when they buy their car, when they sign up for these credit cards. You should be doing that. Most people don't. And then they get bit in the ass, and then it's everyone's fault but themselves. So Brother Viking's already done all that. So we could get into it, man. I'm glad that you are anal retentive. I'm glad that you're OCD, because I got so many questions, man. So where are we going to start? Do we want to start from the beginning, just kind of talking about AI, and then kind of walk our way through it? Or are we going to jump around here? Because I want to leave it to you, because I want to make sure you get your message out the way you have it in your mind.
Well, we should start with first and foremost the TOS and the monetization contracts, because they're not one and the same. That's what a lot of people get confused, and you get a lot of these people coming onto these platforms going like, my free speech, and it's just like, you didn't read the contract, let alone the monetization contract. You didn't realize that you willfully surrendered your free speech. Like you
Right.
literally signed away your free speech, but people don't read it, so they don't know, and then they get mad when they enforce the contract. The thing is, they don't always enforce the contract. This is where you get a lot of people that will give pushback, and in regards to like people giving me pushback, well, how can you prove that this stuff works? Well, fresh and fit, right? On the shirt, right?
Yeah.
I told Myron, yo, if you get this internet shit fixed, do what I said, you will double your daily subscribers damn near. And it's exactly what happened. After the 100 episode, they shot up through the algorithm like fucking crazy. Why? Because most people prioritize speed over stability. ISPs actually make a boatload of fucking money off of selling you faster internet that's still unstable, right? So speed can make up for a lot of instability, but the biggest like root problem that a lot of content creators have is the buffer bloat thing. That's the one problem Myron had in his studio that I solved, thus the claim to fame. So, and all this stuff intertwines, right? It all matters. So try to stick with me here. I know I'm going to be going down a lot of side threads and whatnot. So you got to pay attention, folks. Like, this shit is complicated for a reason, because if it was easy to figure out, most people would just know this stuff and it would be intuitive and easy. No, it's very compartmentalized and complex. And because it's emergent complexity, right? All these little details add up to the bigger issues that we have on the platform. So it
and
all
that's
starts
why I'm
with
here.
understanding the contract. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
here to
that's
try
why
to
I'm
keep me
here.
on track.
I'm here to slow him down. I'm here to like, whoa, what was that? You know what I mean? You hear ISP because it's going to be a lot of tech talk here, and you know this part of like slowing people down. That's definitely my wheelhouse as an air traffic controller. Air traffic control has its own language, its own universe. So when we talk to folks that they're not in that universe, I'm the guy that's always explaining as we go, slowing people down. Let me explain this to you so this makes sense. And then folks are like, oh, now we get it. So I'm going to be doing a lot of that today, bro. Just understand I'm going to be doing that. We're about to get into this. I just wanted to shout out to Yaka. 666 is in the building. What's good, 666? I'm just going to call you 666 moving forward.
That's my girl.
That's what's up, sis. Good to see you, sis. We got old Joe in the building. What's good, fam? And see, I'm glad I know 666 is a girl now because I thought it was a dude. So thank you for clearing that up.
She's in the other room right now on the other computer.
Nice. We got Sister Michelle in the building. Sister Michelle and Sister 666. Do you make sandwiches? Just kidding. You don't have to answer. You don't have to.
No, she does. She does, and she makes 3-star Michelin chef eggs too. I taught her.
Hey, that's what's up. So we're probably going to have a lot of people jumping on this, like watching just in it. So I'm going to show every chat, probably not going to read them all. And you know how we do over here. When I see our day ones, I'm definitely going to give them their shot, their horn blast, you know, give them their flowers. But hey, now it's time to get into it. So you were talking about, I heard ISP speed in there because that's one of my things. Like, I want the fastest, I want the best that I could get from the providers. But like you told me a while ago, it's like, it's not just that, bro. That's not it. So did you want to start there, or do we got to back up?
Yeah, we can go all the way through the line there, right? Because that's the beginning of the line. When it comes down to like putting out content, that's the start, right? That's your connection to the World Wide Web. So ISP, internet service provider, so cable, DSL, you know, fiber optic, whatever variety of internet, satellite, even now, Starlink and stuff like that. Maybe cellular service, right? There's cellular service you can get. That's usually what you would get for like the mobile streaming rigs and whatnot. You use an array of multiple cell antennas to basically get a good connection. But that's a whole nother can of worms we could open up too. So ISP, internet service provider, say most people in the United States are going to have probably a cable modem, right? Or cable internet, you know, through a company like say Charter or something like that, like Verizon. And the thing is that I use the analogy all the time. Most people have a Ferrari when it comes to their internet, but they didn't get a steering wheel with the package, right? Okay. So they're driving that fucker around, hitting the gas, hitting the brake, shifting the gears, but they got no control. They're bumping into walls. This leads to the tech problem that goes by the terminology of buffer bloat, right? Buffer bloat is what most people in gaming refer to as a lag spike, or like when the stream buffers, right?
Yeah, that's
when there's too much bandwidth in the connection and you're getting a bottleneck. So it creates a slowdown, and a lot of times the slowdown can be so abrupt and so bad that you get what's called packet loss, because the data is transferred in things that are called packets, like one at a time, right? Now, a good router will have a QoS, or quality of service system, that prioritizes, basically says, it's a line watcher. It's like, yo, you got to get in the line and you guys go in order, both for the upload and the download, right? So it's one packet at a time. But when you get too many packets trying to come in and there's no way of ordering the traffic through, you lose packets. And this results in losses of data, which leads to lag spikes, buffering, and all this, et cetera, et cetera.
So this is the controller of your information. And without that controller, it's just complete chaos, bottleneck. What gets through, you don't know. But you want this controller, what's that term again?
Buffer bloat. Anybody can look it up. Yeah, that's when there's too much traffic on that connection in the network, and it leads to packet loss or data loss, which then means that when the data comes through on the other end, it's missing a piece, so you don't get the whole picture.
So if someone wanted to, because what you're saying is stability is better than speed. Speed is great, but stability, because you told me that on this platform before.
Yeah, so the thing is that there's a minimum amount of speed required. It's kind of like a speed limit. Like you in order to get going somewhere fast, you want to go like 55 on a highway, or maybe up to 70, right? So there is a minimum speed you need to do a 1080p connection properly, But the thing is, once you reach that threshold, then what's going to matter is the stability, right? That's where it's going to come into play, whether or not you get the packet loss or not, which fucks up your stream. So the getting a router that and programming it correctly to be able to do that, that's where my like proprietary information and my specialty comes in. What I did for Myron and Fresh's studio back in both their studios, because I actually worked on both their studios because they're in the same building at the Panorama Tower there, and the Panorama Towers got so many content creators in there, so much internet traffic, like they got good speeds, but it's oversaturated. So you have to control that traffic, right? Like you were an air traffic controller. Without you, everything would just be going like crazy, and you'd be getting crashes and all sorts of problems. It would not work, right?
Exactly.
That's what a quality router does. It's like the difference between a quality air traffic controller and one that actually doesn't really care about their job too much.
Or
There's
they're
a
just
quality
shitty at it.
difference.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're just
they're
shitty
not
at it.
efficient. Maybe they can't explain things as well as you did, right? That's basically what most routers are, and those are the cheap routers. Those are the routers that you're going to get with your internet package, right? They might give you a good modem, and you can get those good speeds, but like I said, under actual real world conditions, where like say my girl's in the next room watching this, maybe watching Netflix and stuff like that,
Yeah,
right?
the kids are in the
That's
back watching
saturating the
Disney.
bandwidth.
Okay, so you
Yep.
got the kids in the back, the little kids watching Disney, the big kids are gaming. Now I get what you're talking about.
Yep,
Now
and
and all that's
all
coming
those
out together.
connections on the network are competing for the traffic, and there's no ordering for the line, so they're just all bumping into each other and trying to switch places, and therefore they're like knocking each other down the line, and then nobody gets their stuff, right? That's
So
usually what ends
guys
up
who are
happening
watching this,
metaphorically.
so you guys are watching this, right? Brother Viking does provide a service that really gets into it. We're gonna make sure that he gives his information so y'all can get a hold of him. I plan on taking him up on his services. He told me about this a long time ago. I just haven't, gotten to the point where I need it, but I'm getting to that point now.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, like, yes, this is me. He's not paying me to say this, but I saw the difference with the Fresh and Fit platform, with their studio before Viking and after Viking. And I'm here to tell you, holy shit, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna need that as well. So I just want to make sure we got that in there. Casual Germ is in the building. What's good, fam? We got day ones popping in here. So okay, so that makes sense to me now. That makes sense to me. So it's about the router. So if I wanted to, and stop me if this gets into your business, because I don't want to give the sauce away for free, but the router, you just got to know your routers and do your research, because you need to get the router that's gonna control
Yeah.
all
Well,
of this.
that's
Okay.
some of the sauce, right? Is that the quality of service features, right? If your router, there's a handful of routers out there that have decent quality of service features. There's one that I particularly use that's very easy for most everyday users to get their mind wrapped around, as long as they just go through the steps step by step. And that's what I walked Myron through, had him take notes and stuff like that through FaceTime, and just be like, well, this is how you get this. You get this router, and then I'll walk you through how to set it up for your setup, for your connection speed and whatnot, and get it dialed in. And what I do effectively is use that version of software allows me to build in a buffer, right? The buffer gives me that gap where if you hit that saturation, there's overspill that will then allow those packets to still get through, right? Because you artificially cap the traffic, right? But there's
Okay.
only very particular sets of software on certain routers that are actually capable of doing this. Now, what gets proprietary is like the ratios and stuff like that to balance things optimally for a
Okay.
live stream connection.
So another way to look at it, you're making a dam. You're making a
Yeah.
dam and you're controlling the flow. Okay. So another analogy, you got the controller analogy, you got the dam analogy. So now we get it. Like you said, it's the bottleneck issue. You figured this out just by being dogged and solving problems. And that's good. You know what? Bro, you should make a couple dollars
Trial
on
and
it.
error. Yeah, trial and error for basically my original goal was, as just an end user myself, was I wanted lag-free Call of Duty. And I did
Okay.
achieve that, right? That was the thing. I'd achieve my goal, and then I would tell people, I'd be telling other Twitch streamers and shit like that. I'd be going like, yo, like you can fix it and not have any of these lag problems. Upgrade your computer to something that's going to handle the traffic better, because that's another side that can get bottlenecks is in the system itself, right? But then like the internet connection in the wall, like even if you got a badass computer, you're still going to get these lag problems in Call of Duty. I'm like, I want to fix that. I fix it for myself. And then I'm like shouting at the fucking clouds, like, listen to me, please. And people are just like, sounds good, crickets. And I'm just like, okay, I'll just keep it to myself. And it wasn't until I got in this space where I got encouraged to think about skills that I had that other people might use. And I'm just like, oh, I see all these guys buffering and it might be something. So that's why I got into like, well, I can capitalize on this skill. And I started DMing people like yourself on IG and networking with people and going like, hey, I can fix your problem. If you give me a shot, I'll guarantee these results. Like, you just got to give me a chance and do what I said. And Myron was one of the first guys, wasn't the first, but one of the first to pick up on that and actually do it. And he got the results, right? And that's why he shouts me out all the time and whatnot. So, well, I got all those clips.
So, okay. So, and this would be the beginning. Okay. We're going to get the bottleneck.
That's one facet, right? So we got one facet. That's the internet wall connection, right? So then we're going to go into like, like I said, I mentioned like the computer side of things. That's the other thing that I do, is that I optimize the connections within the computer by hand selecting very diligently the different parts, so everything meshes together. That's the computer I built for Myron back in 2022 to replace the one that he had that was above average. His computer was above average. It was a fucking beast all on its own, right? One of the other guys that works for him built it for him, but it wasn't really on that level, right, as the rest of his equipment. And that was my selling point to him, is like, you need to, get all these, you need to remove all the bottlenecks, right? So the machine itself is a bottleneck, and then the connections themselves can be bottlenecks too, right? And every section in between that connects can be a bottleneck. And when you know the hardware and the software, you can go through and you can eliminate those bottlenecks. Now, why does this matter? We'll get right into the YouTube algorithm. Why does this matter for YouTube algorithm?
Now, before you go there, I just want to ask one question. Maybe some people are thinking this. If someone came to you and they told you what their designs needs, whether it's a gamer and he's really trying to step it up, like, trying to get to the next level, could they pay you to build this computer for them?
Yes. Now, this is where like the stuff that I do is not cheap. This is where a lot of people in the mainstream, when I built this business model, I realized part of the problem I had before when yelling at the clouds was that I was talking to people that didn't have the desire, let alone the ability to actually upgrade to the level that I'm on. Right. And that's why my business model, I'm not trying to be the most competitive. Like, you learn about this in sales funnels and stuff like that. I'm not trying to be the most competitive guy with the most effective price. I'm the high ticket sale guy. I'm the guy that's like, well, if you actually want the kind of results that that my skill truly delivers, you're going to have to up the ante, right? You're going to have to be willing to really invest in your business and yourself.
And that makes sense to me. You're not the guy that does upgrades on cars. You're the guy that upgrades exotics. Like, you're the guy that upgrades the top of the line Porsche, the top of the line, Maserati.
Yeah, full custom work, full custom high end work.
Yeah, you can't bring the Civic in, you can't bring in the Camry, you can't bring in the Kia. I don't work on that. So like, you working on it. So that makes sense.
The unfortunate reality is like, if I'm trying to like help you upgrade a shitty laptop, right? That, like, that's going to be the limiting factor right there, is the laptop that isn't able to deliver because of cooling and, thermal throttling and stuff like that alone. Right. So, and I can go into a whole thing about that. I gave a whole class in the Fresh and Fit Discord about like how to PC part select at one point. So, and I plan on kind of bringing that back, and I might even do a video on it. But, the thing is that you need to have all those ducks in a row, so to speak, in order to actually get the results that you want. And a lot of people just, they're not doing it in a way where they got the bread for it. Right. That's the biggest limiting factor. And so that's why, like I said, I'm not trying to appeal. Now, getting back to what you asked, like, if people want to hire me, I am in fact working on a website right now with automated booking systems and stuff like that. That will actually, it was supposed to be done by another guy. Turned out he was a little bit of a scammer, didn't deliver after several months. And now I was busy, and now I'm working with somebody that I met through the Discord that knows what he's doing. He already has a successful business in the UK doing this stuff. He actually is teaching me more of the enterprise level of what I already knew. So he's somebody I can actually learn from. So another fun fact, I'm not just on the consumer level anymore. I'm on the enterprise level with the tech I can deliver. I'm still learning that part right now myself. But if somebody wants to get a hold of me, I have my vikingparadigm.com website. Once I get the website live, I'll be doing an announcement on my channel. I'll be letting everybody know, and you'll be able to go in and you'll be able to book me for whatever type of thing. Because some guys were asking for like coaching and stuff like that, for like life coaching advice and whatnot. And I'm not going to try. I don't like to tell people what to do, but I'll tell you how I would do it in that situation, and the best way that I can see in order to achieve those results. And if I don't know how to do it, I know somebody who does. That's the key thing. Like, even whenever somebody comes to me for a problem, I'm not going to give you a bullshit answer to the problem if I don't know. I'll be honest. I'll say, I don't know. Let me find out and get back to you, or let me find somebody who knows and get back to you, and I can solve your problem for you. Right.
All right.
That's what I do, is I seek the information. It's not about like bullshit answers. It's all about solving the problem and getting it done correctly.
I learned that in the military, man. If I don't know the answer to your question, I'll get you an answer. I will go find out. And that's something I learned, you know, when I was in the United States Army as a youngin, and it stuck with me. We got Hornet in the building. What's good, fam? Always a pleasure to see you. So, okay, so let's get into it, man. So, and I know you have a kind of format in your head of how you wanted to address this, but I'm just gonna throw a little monkey wrench in there, bro. What the hell is a shadow ban? Is it real? Whatever you're gonna tell me, make sure I get that information. Go.
Okay, so yeah, so this is perfect, because this is right what I was getting into, is that like, why does connection and bottlenecking and stuff like that in the system matter? Well, at the end of the day, you got to remember what we talked about the contracts and the monetization contracts and the TOS, is that YouTube and a lot of these social media places, they are advertisement platforms first and foremost. They are a business for advertising. Right? Yes, you can be a user and put your content out there, but they are there for advertising. So then where does the connection play in? Well, there's actually more than one algorithm in YouTube, right? So there's the algorithm that most people are familiar with, that when they refer to it, they're talking about the video algorithm, right? So when your video gets put out there, it gets clicks, it gets watches, you know, and all that sort of stuff. It gets likes and dislikes, and that all influences the analytics on the YouTube channel, right? Well, the thing is that when you're doing live streaming content, that is a technically separate ad platform adjacent to the video platform, because the videos are stored on their own servers. But then when you do a live broadcast, you're doing a live broadcast. So you have to run that to redistribute through the Google / YouTube network to all these different server nodes throughout the country. So this broadcast right now, it's being broadcast from your room, but it's going out to your local YouTube server, and that YouTube server / Google server is connecting to all the other ones and distributing it locally. So there's going to be like a delay from, like, you know, east to west and stuff like that. There's going to be like a minuscule delay with that transfer. But the idea is that by it transferring it over at fiber speeds to those other nodes, other users can get it more efficiently in their area, which reduces the chance of buffering, right? This is where the connection stability comes in. Why does connection stability and the buffering matter so much, right? And this will play into the shadow banning and stuff later. It's because of advertisements. The standard advertisement procedure is they will deliver YouTube advertisements usually at about 5, 10, and 15 minutes by default, right? So when you're watching a video, this is actually, I'll give the whole audience here a pro tip. If you really want to support your content creator and make your like count more, you tune into the stream without interruption and you wait 5, 10, or 15 minutes for you to hit that like. What does that do? Well, when they were doing testing on the Google engineer side of things over on the Machinima end, and this still works, I verified it through Fresh and Fit, that it adds more weight to your like, because it shows that you're not just a blind supporter that just came in and hit the like right away, right? Or liked it before the broadcast went live. It shows that you actually sat down, assessed the content, and then made a decision that, yeah, I actually do like this. This is also, by the way, why dislikes actually can help a content creator too. Even if you're getting dislikes, as long as the like ratio is higher than the dislike ratio, it actually will still help you in the algorithm, because it shows that even that people are actually tuning in, assessing the content, and then giving a genuine dislike or like response to that content, which adds, not, it doesn't completely double the weight in the algorithm, but it literally will put your one like up to about 1.6 to 1.9, right? Based on the stats they had.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny, bro? I'm guilty of that. All the people I support, I'll see them and I'll just click like beforehand. I do it on my own platform because I run this off of a laptop, and then I have a separate monitor. To your point with the lag, right? I'm watching this show on my separate monitor on a separate, window. It's a 6-second delay.
Yeah.
So it's like, to your point, and I'm really damn, I'm glad you told me this, because I do watch I support my folks and I watch their content, but I'm going to wait at least 5 to 10 minutes, 15 if I can, before I actually hit the like button. Oh
Yeah.
shit, man.
This
We got people in the building, man. Big Mo in the
shit.
house, man.
Love you, Big Mo.
I see you,
My
fam.
Haitian brother.
Big Mo making it happen. Hey guy, hey Mo, drop your link in the description. Hey guys, do me a favor. This man right here, one of the coolest humans on the planet. I ain't never seen him frown. I've seen him handle pressure like a G. He's a musician. He's an artist. Support his music. Support his music. I'm telling you,
Yes,
he
sir.
losing that weight. The more weight he loses, the bigger he gets with his music. I can't wait to be in one of his reggaeton videos, man, because they be having all the fine ladies in that joint, bro. I'm just saying. I'll be the old man playing the bongos or something in the corner. But anyway, shout out to Big Mo.
Yes, sir. One of my best friends.
Yeah, Sister Michelle's like, I'm gonna be obnoxious and I'm gonna hit the like right now. I appreciate that, sis. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to throw that in there. I'm like, yeah, there's a delay on my shit right now. I'm watching it right now, 6-second delay. And because I do the countdown and it's always 6 seconds. You know what I mean? Delay.
Yeah, even though a lot of times those connections are running at the speed of electricity or even the speed of light through fiber optic connections, like it's still going to have that delay. That's actually one of the things that MLD struggles with, is that he'd be broadcasting to an American audience from Japan, and so that's automatically going to have like minuscule delay built into that just from the transcontinental connection. It's fiber optic, travels at the speed of light, but the speed of light isn't instantaneous. It only seems instantaneous at close ranges. At further ranges, there's the science, right? So there is limitations to the speed in regards to that, even at the speed of light. So that's what you always got to keep into account, is that there is going to be those issues and they do stack up, right? Yeah. So that's why it's important to remove as many bottlenecks as you possibly can.
Man, that's what's up, man. I appreciate that. So right off rip, guys, we're 30 minutes in and we've already learned massive shit. You know what I mean? Brother Viking on this thing, bro. He owned it. So shadow banning. Am I shadow banned, bro?
I'm getting there. Okay. I'm getting there.
So when we get there, you got to tell me if I'm shadow banned tonight. That's because I got to know that. But keep going.
Well, here's the thing. Like going back to what I was saying about, this is why a lot of smaller channels will tend to suffer, is because they'll just get like instantaneously. This can actually be I wouldn't say detrimental, but not as beneficial as it can be, is when people are actually patient and really watching the content, right? Because the watch time matters more than the likes, because you could come in, like, and then bail out right away. And that's actually going to tell YouTube the opposite of what you want. It's actually going to tell them that you're just a blind supporter trying to game the system, because that's where a lot of YouTubers back in the day used to do like for like, follow for follow. That shit will get you shadow banned right quick, because they pick up on those signals.
Say that again.
The like for like, follow for follow. So a lot of content creators used to do is, well, if you follow me, I'll follow you to get subscriber, and then I'll like your content if you like mine. That used to work very early on. Now people are still doing it, but YouTube knows they caught onto the game. And a lot of people haven't been caught onto the game yet, where they know this. And this actually sends a negative signal, because you're not really watching the content. Watch time is king on YouTube. Even if you're getting a lot of clicks on shorts and stuff like that, it's the people that come back and tune in and watch the whole thing that actually matter more in the algorithm. The watch time per user, and then that user liking the video after they've ascertained whether or not they like it. That's real, solid confirmation for YouTube that this person watches the show, really enjoys it, and they took the extra effort after watching it to make sure that they liked it. So that sends that subtle signal. Now, why is the buffer bloat bad for live streamers, right? Well, here's the thing, because it interrupts those ad cycles. You see? So when the stream buffers, imagine if you will, what happens when, say, you try to, you're watching a video and then an ad tries to load and then it buffers. That person that's doing the advertisement, that advertisement more or less is like a skipped ad then. So it doesn't have the same weight as, say, if you watch the ad all the way through. Even if you don't click through on the ad, you actually watching the whole, or being able to watch the whole ad, is going to be better for you. And this applies even if you're not monetized yet, right? Because this has to do, like I said, there's video servers for YouTube and Google, but then there's the live streaming servers, right? Now the live streaming servers have to do a prioritization, just like the router I explained before does, right? And so what kind of connection do you think it's going to prioritize for displaying ads?
The one with the best speed, minus the ones that don't have all the bottlenecks, I would imagine.
Exactly. The ones that are stable. So you can have fast internet, you can have full on fiber optic internet if you've got applications that do sneaky things, like Netflix is guilty of this. And all you need is 2 Netflix apps running on the same network, and you can get constant buffer bloat. Why? Because they do end user experience things, which means that they will pre-allocate the same way that I did the buffer that I described that I program in. That's pre-allocating bandwidth to not be taken up. Well, in this case, a lot of these apps will pre-allocate buffer on your network. And the thing is they don't have a limitation on it. So in order for you to be able to click from one video on the Netflix app over to load another 1080 video immediately and have it play right away without buffering too long, they maximize that pre-allotted bandwidth so that way you're able to do that. Now, what happens is if you, and I think they've gotten better with it now over the years, but when it first started out, it was really terrible. If you had even 1 Netflix or 2 Netflix on the same network, you could not play lag-free gaming at all without QoS. It'd be because what'd be happening is the Netflix would be pre-allocating all the bandwidth, and 2 of them, they're sitting there playing a game of tug of war over your connection, and you're just sitting in the background trying to play your video game, and the video game's just trying to take a little bit of bandwidth, but then the other ones are just like beating it up and just constantly buffer bloating, and that's why you're constantly getting those lag spikes. Right. That's what most people are dealing with. And like I said, in the YouTube algorithm on the server side, when you're constantly buffering or lagging, even if it's only like every 15, 30 minutes or whatever, you're still interrupting those lag and those watch time cycles that makes them think that the content got boring or they got tuned out, because that's the kind of signal it sends when it's getting the connection's getting it messed up or interrupted like that. So they can't serve ads, they can't retain viewership. So it's going to de-rank you in that algorithm, which can more or less effectively shadow ban you over time. And the thing is that after you stream on an unstable connection like that for months, even years, it takes you the same amount of time typically in the algorithm to fight your way back up in the rank on a stable connection while also maintaining positive viewership. But see, then we go over to the monetization side of things, right?
So hold on right there. Let's take a breath. Let's take a breath, man. We got all that shit settled in. Man, I'm like, God damn. So a lot of people who believe they're shadow banned because of something they said or some content they put up is probably not the case. It's probably,
we'll get into that too. There's multiple versions of shadow banning.
Right. We're gonna get into that. But for what we're saying here is one of the first bullet points of the quote unquote shadow ban is the tech side. Like you've hurt yourself by not getting the best routers to deal with the buffering issues, plus whatever it is you got going on in your house. And that causes the algorithm not to like you, and it pushes you down into the hole. And once you fix it, you got to dig yourself back out of the hole just to get back to the starting line before the algorithm can like you again. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes, sir.
Holy fuck, man.
And that's just for the live streaming side of things.
Right. We're gonna keep going, but I just want to let that settle. I want that settle. We got your people, Dr. Evil, in the building. What's good? What's good? Appreciate y'all. We are dual casting this. Brother Horner wants to know also comments in chats playing a big role. We're gonna get into that. Zenti Den in the building. What's good, fam? What's good, fam? Brother Pitney, man, the keeper of the knowledge over here on I Really Want to Know in the building. Just wanted to catch up, guys. I'm not gonna be able to read probably any chats today because Viking is taking up all the fucking airtime, as he should, because we have so much information to put out there. I have learned a shit ton in the first 25 minutes. You guys don't want to miss this. And for Team Replay, this is probably gonna be one of my best performing videos, man. For all you nerds out there, check his work. Put it in the comments. Let us know so we can improve over here. But I bet you he's solid. Okay. So let's continue. We let that settle. Holy shit.
So that's just the competitive nature of the streaming service, because you're still, even if you're not monetized, like I said, you're still competing for ad space, right? They have to prioritize the quality connections over the, as we say over the Discord, the dog shit connections, right? The dog shit connections are always going to lose just because meritocracy does matter in the real world, right? The better you perform in anything, the more priority you're going to get. That's just a fact. So when it comes to real business, when you stand on business, that's what it's about. So YouTube stands on business, right? And so now we're going to get into, like the different types of shadow banning. So that's one way you can get shadow banned.
And before you continue, Brother Pitney does have, I put it on the screen, You addressed this already, right? Because I think he just jumped in. Can you see the comment?
Yeah.
So
Um,
he's wondering in your experience.
SQM.
Yes.
I'm not familiar with what the SQM feature is. I refer to ones that have quality, a QoS, quality of service, right? So I'm not, that might be a similar feature because I know that some routers deal with, they word it differently, but that's why like I tend to stay away from those ones too. Like I said, I have a very particular style of routers that run a very, very particular type of software, right? But that's typically what I give people consultations for.
And this is why Brother Pitney is the keeper of the knowledge over here, and I really want to know land because it's whatever this is, it has everything to do with the router to mitigate the buffer bloat, which is what we're talking about. So I just wanted to highlight that. And there's a definition for it right there. So
Or yeah, so basically it's a different way of saying the
same
same
thing.
thing. Yes. Yeah.
Same
So
thing.
yeah, they
So
they word
I
it
appreciate
differently,
that.
but
Okay.
yeah.
So back to it, bro. Here we go.
All right. So shadow banning. That's one form of shadow banning that can happen is in the live streaming server side of things, right? The other way that it happens is if you say things that trigger the algorithm, right? Yes, they do have AI watching things and whatnot. And those are some of the information that we don't really have solid numbers or data on because it's deliberately, it would be for me to have that sort of information to be sharing it, that'd be corporate espionage, right? I don't have access to information. And if I did, I would be under a non-disclosure agreement that I'd be, if I was talking about it, I'd be violating the shit out of it right now and breaking laws and stuff and be having all sorts of problems. And homie, don't play that, as they say, right? So I'm not into any of that. So a lot of this stuff, you kind of have to, unfortunately, take my word at it, right? Same thing that the Google engineer said is like, you're going to have to just take our word for it. Like there's certain information we don't have access to verify 100%. Like it's that way by design. Like there's companies out there that are literally gunning to steal that information from Google/YouTube for their own purposes, right? So you think if you think that those other corporations can't get it, right? What makes you think that like we're gonna have real access to that sort of data, right? But here's the thing: is like it always comes down to like, are you doing things that are controversial? So there's a little bit of different rule set for people that are under the regular YouTube TOS and then people that are under the monetization contract. This is one of the things that even the guys that tend to read this stuff don't really look at the comparison, right? And for a little bit of transparency, I read that contract back in 2014 when I originally got it, right? I haven't read the updated version of it, so there could be some differences compared to what I know now, but I would just tend to assume that it would be more restrictive rather than less restrictive as they find more loopholes that people utilize and exploit on the platform, right? Just kind of the cat and mouse game of the internet. So just like I said before about people trying to play the algorithm by coming in and liking right away. And then actually, I'll touch on that real quick. That reminds me, the commenting thing. It also helps if you're chatting in the chat on, say, the live streams before you hit that like as well, because if you're engaging with the content, that sends a positive signal in the algorithm that, yes, they're actually getting chat engagement and this person liked the show, liked the engagement, and then they hit the like button. So, yes, you commenting a couple of times, just saying hi or whatever, also helps in the algorithm leading up before you hit the like button. Because once again, you're sending those positive signals back to YouTube that the content is actually entertaining and holding your attention, right? If it's, even if you're a supporter, if it's not really holding your attention, it's just kind of like what you just call lip service in terms of YouTube's eyes. It's like, yeah, they liked it and they came in and did that, but then they just bailed right away. It's just like that could be a bot for all they know, right?
Okay.
That could be bot behavior. So
So
it's
if,
not really
so
helping.
if I'm
It's
watching
just
your
giving
YouTube
kind of a
channel,
blase.
so if I'm watching your YouTube channel and I'm a supporter, I like what I see. I need to get in there. I need to send a couple chats. I need to wait 5 to 10, maybe 15 minutes before I send a couple more chats, and then we're good. At least
Yep.
that much, right?
Yep. If you do that much, like I said, as long as you hang out and get that like containment, and then even if you can leave a lurk up for the entire broadcast after that, that's going to extend that watch time. And if your connection is good as the end user, that shows that and that matches the content creator, you get that smooth connection in between that, oh, this is a good platform that we could serve advertisements to. That's what you're telling the YouTube algorithm through action. rather than just, like I said, that lip service that a lot of people tend to engage in. Like I said, it used to work back in the day, but YouTube got smart. They're just like, oh, people are using this to game the system to get free money and not really actually, they just have their 5 friends do that shit. And then they can get monetized for no good reason, right? We want people that are monetized to actually be, able to serve advertisements for our clients, right? So
That's what's
getting
up, man.
into like the shadow banning thing, like I said, what most people refer to shadow banning, how that originally the coin got termed was when they will actually make it where when new users on the platform type in your name in the search engine on YouTube, that even if they type in the exact name, there's varying degrees of this too, that your name will not come up in the search engine. Even if you hit enter with the exact name, if you're fully shadow banned, you will not come up. And there's ways that you can test this. This is one of the other tests that I can perform. The way that you do a test for this is that I'll give you a little bit of secret sauce here because you can look this up on YouTube as well. I've watched videos myself how to do this. You simply got to log out of your actual account on your machine, switch over to a VPN that's from a different location, and then you can go on YouTube or whatever search engine that you're trying to go to, whatever platform, and then you can type in that person's name from either a brand new account or a non-IP associated account with your previous IP, so it doesn't know it's you. Then you can actually see, oh, does my name come up? Right. And that's what allows you to, or like if it doesn't come up until you type out most of it, right? That's one of the variations, right? Sometimes if you notice, a lot of times the predictive algorithm, if you're good in good standing, you'll start to type in like say Andrew and then, space T, it would pop up Andrew Tate, right? But if you're shadow banned, it's not even going to come up in the list, even if you type out Andrew Tate, right?
And we're talking about in the YouTube search engine.
Well, for the YouTube search engine and for any other even search engine, this can apply whether or not that platform has you shadow banned, because this is just an algorithm thing that they can control on their back end side, is that if you're controversial, they can have certain keywords not be prioritized or certain keyword combinations be downranked so that way they don't come up at the top of the list, right?
So
That's the game.
Oh shit. All right. So Mail Improvement, for instance, if whoever they are, wanted to downgrade, RP content, manosphere content, or let's say gym culture content, all they got to do is put those keywords in there, and the algorithm is going to automatically suppress it, basically.
This usually applies to usually particular users or usernames of
Okay.
people that do content. Like that's usually what they're talking about. When I got shadow banned, their name is basically that's what it would traditionally mean, because that's like the first form that got found out about, where they were deranking people in the search engines, so when people would look for them, they could not find them or could not find them easily. That's the idea. It makes it harder for those people to be seen, because what's going to happen is that they're going to have other recommendations come up first over those. They're going to get prioritized over those other content creators that are controversial. And to become controversial, that's where you can get into the AI monitoring for keywords like cursing and certain trigger words and stuff like that. And that goes hand in hand with the TOS and the monetization contract, right? I'll give an example. Like Rolo on Access Vegas got demonetized recently, right? And one of the things I pointed out to him on Twitter was that, he's just like, well, is this warranted, was what the question that he asked was. And the thing is, I can already say yes, because one of the key factors in the monetization contract that I read back in 2014 said that even if you're making a joke, if you make comments, even if you're joking about how, oh, this will get me banned in the algo, YouTube could ban me for this, or YouTube could demonetize us for this, right? Even the one that Fresh and Fit say about the and canceled, that one is okay, but borderline. But saying YouTube and YouTube canceled, that's a grounds for immediate demonetization under the monetization contract. So that's one of the things that a lot of people know. That one simple joke is enough for you to get demonetized once you're monetized on YouTube.
So
Fun
I'm about
fact.
to get banished. I'm about to get banished to the realms of you never coming back after this episode, man, because we're giving out all
Well,
this sauce, right?
see, this comes down to visibility as well. See, there's plenty of channels that they don't enforce this stuff on that get away with it, and that's why a lot of people will say, "Oh, it's not a real thing." They don't enforce it on my Discord, right? That's the argument we get over at the Fresh and Fit Discord a lot from people arguing for free speech. Right? It's just like, yeah, you can get away with it over on that other platform, that other Discord over there on the platform. But the thing is, they're not under, as we say, the eye of Sauron. The eye of Sauron is not upon them. As Fresh and Fit, the eye of Sauron is upon them, watching what they do to make sure they're not violating the contracts and the agreements, right? Because you agree to these things. Like
Yep, that
even
makes
being
sense.
on YouTube, it says in the TOS, the very act of you being on the account, on the platform, using the platform, is you consenting to the terms of service, whether you acknowledge it, clicking a button or not, right? That's the thing.
Right.
Most people have to click that button, and boom, you agreed to give up your free speech, and you didn't even realize it. You just signed your life away because you didn't read the fine print. So now you're going to try to fight back against that. You're going to lose that battle every time because you didn't read what you agreed to.
Every single time. Just like TikTok. I can't believe that the Chinese Communist Party knows where I get my dry cleaning done. Well, you agree to that with the terms of service. That's what you do when you sign up for TikTok. They get into every nook and cranny of your life.
Yeah,
We
they can
got
just
some
sit there
more
and listen to you.
all day long. We got some more of your people, man. Brother Grimm in the building. We got Duck in the building. Yeah, Brother Grimm, where's Duck? I'm trying to highlight your folks because we got Broski in the building. So want to make sure I show your people some love. There you go, Duck. So yeah, man. Damn, bro. So someone like Mr. Beast or Joe Rogan. Let's use Rogan. Rogan is definitely high profile. Sauron is on him 100%. So Rogan doesn't get away with what he could do on Spotify. He wasn't getting away with what he was doing when he was at my size because everything he says, they're on him, right? So okay, that makes sense to me. So I might get away with a lot more than someone who has 200 subscribers is not monetized. Is that true or?
Yeah, well, it comes down to the amount of attention that you're getting, right? If you're getting a lot of attention, you're more likely to get the contract enforced, right? It's kind of like, even when you're talking about, like, say, the IRS and whatnot. If you're not engaging in certain monetary behavior, you're not very likely to get audited, right? So same thing with the YouTube and whatnot. Even if you're not adhering to the contract, it's not very likely that you're going to get, unless somebody reports you or mass reports you, or you get a lot of public attention in other ways. Are they really going to be looking to enforce that on you? Because for them, trying to enforce on somebody that's like making, like a few dollars a month for some jokes and stuff like that, it's literally a waste of time. It would be, there's millions of people on the platform. It would be virtually impossible for them to do that. That's why there's certain people that can more or less fly under the radar. Right. But the thing is that once you go above that watermark, now your submarine scopes out of the water. Now you can be seen on the horizon. Right, as a good analogy to put it. Like as soon as your ship's above water, there, you might be flying under the radar underwater. As soon as you come up, out of depth, right now you can be seen on the radar, and you're a sitting duck, right?
Now they
And that's
got
where a
you.
lot of people don't realize. That's how you can get shadow banned, is that they do have the algorithms that go through and they listen for like the text or the speech to text stuff, right? So that way you can get closed captioning. Right? That's still same algorithms that monitor that stuff. They can flag for certain keywords and flag your channel for notification, like, oh, this person's dropping a lot of N-bombs and stuff like that. Right? Maybe they shouldn't be monetized. Right? So that stuff is going to get heard. Like a lot of people say, well, you won't get demonetized if you don't cuss within the first 30 minutes. And then after that, that's can be true. Right? That can be true. But once again, once the ranking gets upgraded, the attention gets enhanced, then you're going to have to be like, getting all those shows watched. And the thing is, if at any point you're saying some controversial things, some trigger words, then you're going to get flagged, and the more attention is going to be on you, maybe in the negative sense.
No, that makes sense, man. It's like, back in the day, maybe Uncle Saint was in the streets. Maybe I was on the wrong side of the law. Who knows? But I know this. It sounds to me that YouTube, they are really the cyber police, because if the real police see you, you good until the real police see you.
Yeah.
And once they see you, they don't unsee you. So no matter what you're doing, where you are, they're checking you out because you were talking to this person or you wearing this flashy thing. Of course, they can't see what you're wearing on YouTube, but they can hear what you're saying. They can see what you're texting. They can look at what you're posting. Same thing. So that makes sense to me, brother. Then I wanted to put this up real quick. He was like, "What about others' comments? You know, like I used to mod for someone, and I would like and reply to others' comments on videos. Is that all just kind of mixed in there? Because brother Den just wants to know everything that he can do or they can do to support on their end, you know, their content creators. So
Yeah,
I was paraphrasing
he's
there.
talking about like the video comments. So there's two types of comments, right? There's the live chat comments, and then there is the under the video comment section. Yes, liking those comments and stuff like that. The more likes certain comments get, it's going to rank them up for more visibility, especially if the creator favorites them and stuff like that. So on the creator side, if you like and favorite certain comments and stuff like that, that helps boost them up and show that like there's actual engagement going on. So this is all engagement, right? Like I said, even the dislikes are technically engagement, right? That's why we would even encourage like back on Fresh and Fit before they even like hid the dislikes, we would encourage people to dislike because we knew we were always going to get more likes and dislikes. And that was basically a way of tricking the haters into engaging and actually giving us a positive signal. So all those like, you know, we'd have like 2,000, you know, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 likes, and then we'd have like 400, you know, 200 to 400 dislikes. Well, every one of those dislikes, because it was minuscule compared to the likes, still showed that the content was engaging to the people, and that a majority of the people still like the content, because the YouTube knows in the real world, you're always going to get haters, especially if you win it in life. So they know that some people are just spiteful and petty, but that still shows that the content was still engaging enough to trigger a response, right? Because that, you know, that drama does sell, that drama does drive viewership. Right. That's why the after hours, you know, help Fresh and Fit grow so much. It wasn't just their actual value in the daytime shows. It's the entertainment part of the edutainment that drove them through the roof. Right. And people sit there and hate on it. But, you know, it goes back to the old saying, don't hate the player, hate the game. Right. That's how the game works. Like drama does sell. And when you can control the drama and control the fire, that's just like sitting by a campfire watching a good blaze. Right. You know, there's a lot of destruction and chaos going on there, but it's contained in an entertainment facet. So you can just sit there, and a lot of people just sit back and eat popcorn and chill next to the fire, right? That's the fire of the after hours burning, right? But it's controlled, therefore it drives advertising, because it's not like a bonfire getting out of control and lighting everybody else up, right? So even if there is controversial stuff contained there within, once again, you can walk a line, but you just got to be very careful you don't tip too far right or left and fall off that bitch, you know?
That's
So
what's up, man. That's what's up. And broski, yeah, I know people get me confused with Saint the Sinner. I met Marquette, man. I was introduced to him via Fresh. I was in, you know, real fascinating guy, man. Like he a real one. I mean, when I sit there and talk to him, you know, it's like, yeah, talking about where he's from and all that. Very impressive, his arc. If no one knows what I'm talking about, you know, just go check out Saint the Sinner. I mean, he can go there now. He's very sharp. You know what I mean? A lot of people fuck with him, and I'm like, bro, you don't want to go there. But I like his arc. I like his story. I'm very proud to see another man of color, a black man from, you know, where he's from, make it to the highest of heights. So I just wanted to throw that out there. A lot of people do get me confused with Satan and Sinner. So
yeah.
all right. So shadow banning. All right, that's what that is.
Yeah, those are
That's
the
part
two
of what that
those
is.
are the two main forms of shadow banning that, you know, most people refer to the second one I listed off, you know, the search engine shadow banning and stuff like that. But, you know, like I said, the one that really affects a lot more content creators that I've noticed is the one I talk about with the second streaming side of things. And mind you, like you don't start getting your channel like fucked with on the streaming side of algorithm of things until you go live for the first time. Then you're like registered in that ranking system, which can spill back over and affect your videos going out. Right. So if you're somebody that just dabbled even in streaming with a shitty connection and then stopped, you're still going to get affected in the other side of the algorithm for basically being able to be put out there for more viewers, because it's like, well, they don't have good internet, so their videos might be good, but if they go live, it's going to be very hard to push it. So it's like a 50-50 thing where YouTube's looking at you sideways, right? That's those signals you're sending. So even if you just try it out, right? That's why I don't recommend like people even like necessarily going live until they get all their ducks in a row first, because if you want a strong showing out the gate, That's how you're going to do it. Like I said, you can always recover. Once you get your stuff on point, you just got to be consistent with it. Consistency is key in everything, right? You just got to keep putting out content and just be on that grind. But you got to be doing it the right way, because there's a smart way to do things and a stupid way to do things. And if you're just like doing the bad technique, right, just like fighting, hunting, like workmanship, if you do the bad technique, you could be working real hard but not be getting anywhere real fast, right? And that's
Yeah.
where a lot of people on these YouTube grind, right? Yeah, you're grinding a lot, but like because you were lazy on the back end of things, you're doing way more work than you need to because you didn't invest in good tools,
Yeah.
right? That's the thing. When you're doing this stuff, it is a trade, right? You're being an entertainer, right? And you got to craft your entertainment well, both on the visual side of things, but also on the technological back end side of things, to really get a good platform, right? Because it's all, the platform is all about all those facets, showing a diamond, right? Or is that diamond, beautiful and nice and clean and pristine and cut right? Or is it just like kind of hacked to shit and got a bunch of dirt in there, right? And looking like it might be just like a piece of glass with some shit in it. It's just like, for a metaphorical sake. So
Nah, I get you. That makes a lot of sense. One thing I noticed on my platform and other platforms, not just the manosphere stuff, I've seen it on some other things as well. Getting unsubscribed. I've seen a lot of, like, I had that one point about a month and a half ago or so, maybe 2 months, where 150 subscribers were gone
yes,
in a matter of
that's called a
hours.
purge. That's called a purge.
So what's that
So,
about, bro? Did
so
I do something wrong, or is that just something
no, no,
that
no, no,
YouTube
no.
does?
That's something that happens. Like, it can happen to people that do want to see the content, but maybe haven't been able to tune in much. That does happen, right? And sometimes they will do excessive purges, right? That's something that's been kind of seen and witnessed, is that sometimes there are like these excessive purges that happen where people that don't want to be unsubscribed will get unsubscribed. That does happen. But the thing is that YouTube does have it's about every 1 to 3 months, they tend to do these purge cycles where they will go through and they will actually remove inactive subscribers from your group to actually get your numbers right of people that are actually active. Because basically all those people that were removed, they could have either been identified as potentially bots due to bot behavior. They could have been identified as inactive, as in they're no longer there. And then so they just purge those out of the system so that way you don't have bloated, inflated numbers that don't actually get you anywhere in the algorithm, right? Because you could be getting false signals from that. So it's like a give and take, like it's both good and bad. Because if you're trying to hit certain milestones like monetization, that could be bad if all of a sudden you have like a bunch of your numbers go away overnight, right? Especially if you're like really trying to scrape by, like I said, like being that guy that's like grinding kind of stupidly, not really doing things that are going to get higher boosts and stuff like that, and putting more into the content. Right. So, and these,
Okay.
like I said, these all kind of mesh together in terms of like giving you visibility. Right. And this is the going into the monetization side of things, for shadow banning. This is where the other form of shadow banning that a lot of people don't understand. Once you're no longer monetized, right? Just very similarly to like if your channel, like numbers wise, isn't worthy to be stable for monetization, right? Even if you do get monetized, right, then that gets taken away. People that are monetized because they can run ads on their platform get more priority. This is where you're going to what people refer to as shadow banning, but all it is meritocracy ranking in based on like how well your platform's doing. If your platform can be monetized, it's reasonably clean, and you've got a good connection, you're going to be ranked much higher for getting new viewers, for retaining those new viewers, and for them wanting to advertise on your platform then because of those other factors, right? So that's the key thing. Like, people wonder why some people like make it big and others don't, even if they got good content. That's part of why they might be doing certain there's multi-factor equation here. And if you're fucking up on more of the facets than you're succeeding on, you're still going to effectively get shadow banned, as people call it now, which is just a many factor equation that will lead to you not getting exposure on the platform.
Bro, listen, nobody told me all this shit when they told me to start a YouTube channel. Like, oh man, just turn on your phone and just start videoing and uploading it. And
Well,
it's
and that
kind of
is
like
good
going,
advice. That is good advice to just do it, because if you're not, like, you could be doing all this analysis that I'm talking about and not do anything significant with your platform like I did for many years. right? So I'm not saying there isn't merit to that, right? Just going live and getting good at it, because you're going to start out bad and get better. Like I was actually just looking back at some of my original content when I had people tell me like, yo, just do it. And I'm looking back at it and I'm just like, it's just one camera, and the quality is reasonable, but not that good. I'm using the Yeti and all that stuff. And now I got the SM7B, right? I've got more cameras, I can, switch it up, do some more angles and stuff like that. You can see, like it's a beautiful day, sun shining through my blackout curtains, that type of thing. So like there's so much more going on with the channel now. And this is another thing that I learned from the Machinima days about like, that Myron fed into naturally, which was being competitive with your studio. Even you, DL, are more competitive with your studio at the level that it's at than most people on the platform. Like a lot of people won't even invest in any sort of background or camera, and they'll just be doing it from, they'll just be, doing the avatar thing,
Yep.
just like,
Yep.
hey guys, I'm awesome. Check me out. Just
Or
like, yeah, it's a cool suit, bro. But where's the actual creator, right? And that's why I get a lot of
yeah,
compliments
or
on
doing
like the studio now.
or they do the AI background. You could click that,
Yeah.
that AI background. I'm like, I mean, I get it.
Yeah, the
I'm not,
super blurry. Yeah.
yeah,
And
like,
once
because I'm
again,
like,
like it gets the job done, but the thing is like, do you progressively improve? Like, do you start out slow and get better, or do you just start out slow and stay slow? Like
yeah,
that's where a lot of people suffer on that grind path, is that they keep doing the bare minimum. And as the saying goes, if you keep doing what you've done, you're going to keep getting what you got. Right. You
yeah,
always got to be competitive. You always got to be improving. And that's why you see like Myron is able to like work the algorithm. It's because of hard work. Tim Pool also said it. His analogy is that YouTube is like a treadmill. If you slow down or you stop running, and it's always speeding up. And if you don't keep up with the speed, you're going to trip and fall off. Right. I think that's a pretty fitting analogy. Right. Because obviously speed isn't infinite, but that's where a lot of people screw it up, is that they want to sit there and like yell at YouTube. But once again, it's just like, what are you offering to YouTube? Well, I've got things to say. It's just like, well, your shit's controversial. You're not wording it in a tactful, respectful way. And nobody, as a,
Ain't nobody got time for that.
it's just
right.
like, yeah, it gets a lot of, drama people coming in. But the thing is, the thing about people that just come in for drama, most of those people don't super chat. Right? Some of them do in some of these spaces, but most of the people that tune in for drama, they don't really stay that long. They watch little bits, they tune in, they tune out, and they look like bots. Right? That's why the NPC meme is so befitting of a lot of this internet culture, is because when you act like a bot, even if you're a real person, you're going to get treated like a bot in the algorithm. Right? And a lot of people don't realize they're acting like bots. Right? And that's why, like I said, for my platform, I try to encourage people to understand how all these little signals work, how the bells and whistles, like you sitting here pressing buttons and doing things, every action you do matters in the algorithm. And they do have AI. Like, I don't know anything about the current AI, but even back in the day, yeah, they had AI doing shit for them long before even people were talking about it, right? Just for flagging purposes and whatnot. So this is what leads to a lot of like the shadow banning, is people not understanding the TOS, not understanding the monetization criterias and contracts, not understanding the hardware competitive side of things, as well as the content competitive side of things. All those things truly matter in terms of getting your content out there and extending your visibility in the YouTube algorithm and making them want to pay you. Because going back to the example I gave before of you're joking about them demonetizing you, would you want to pay somebody to be on your platform and talk shit about you demonetizing them when you got them monetized?
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, do you want to? I'm going to pay you to talk crazy about me and brother Pitney.
Implying I'm threatening to demonetize you when I literally got you monetized and I'm letting you rock, and then you're making jokes about me. Like, come on, man. Like, boom, I'm going to click that fucking button.
Yeah, and it's definitely, you have to understand that this is all a business. I tell folks all the time, like, if I wasn't in this to make money, I wouldn't be investing in this. Of course, I'm about that. If I just wanted to talk, then why be monetized? Why get the cameras? I could just talk and put it up there. Why would I care who listens and all that? Brother Pitney, you're right. That was a great comment that Brother Pitney made right here. Only thing I would add to that is be consistent. I would say consistency trumps all. Like, if you're just that dude with a camera, just talking, but you're talking every single day, consistently, just doing your thing, you'll find an audience. But again,
stability, improvement, and consistency. right? Those are your three best friends in the YouTube space and in any social media platform. You always got to be, getting your stability, both in terms of like your schedule, so you can adhere to that. Like all this stuff like meshes together, like I said, to create a good, solid brand or platform for yourself that then YouTube actually wants to push and promote. Because even if you're talking about controversial things, they're still going to be like, okay, but they're having a level-headed conversation about it. They're not stepping on anybody's toes. They're not trying to bully or talk shit about anybody, and they're not being outcome dependent. Right? When you can have those level-headed conversations where you can agree to disagree and step back, YouTube's going to favor that, even if you're saying some slightly edgy stuff. But as long as you're respectful of the platform, you're going to be able to walk that line most of the time. Now, certain individuals, depending on what they say outside the platform, that's when you can also get into hot water, because they do care about that. Because once again, you are a brand representation once you're monetized. When you're not monetized, you can play a little bit faster and looser because you're not trying to make money off of them. Once you're trying to make money off of them, right, then they're going to be like, do we really want to promote this person? And they're going to ask that question, and you're encouraging them to ask that question.
And the perfect example of that would be how Myron got himself in trouble on a different platform with a different creator. It got back to YouTube, and it's like, nah, you represent us no matter where you are. So, and we're looking for an excuse to do away with your platform anyway, because we're not too happy with it, or whatever the case may be. You're only helping them hurt you. So, and when I heard Myron was talking about it, I'm like, yeah.
I'm not sure I can actually say this, but I'm just going to say it because people need to know. They got demonetized just for having somebody's website that they had platform that was on another platform, but they left some info in the comment section, and that got reported, and that got them flagged, and that got them demonetized. So even going back to what brother said before about like the comment section, or the comment section, the description section too is monitored. Like the keywords you use as well are monitored. All this stuff is data points in the algorithm. Like if you go to your YouTube channel and you look at the analytics section, like you think YouTube can't see that shit too? Like, yeah, other people can't see your analytics, but they got access to all your analytics, and they're going to be looking at that stuff if you're setting off certain things in the AI, going like, hey, or if people are reporting you, right? Because you can get flagged and get the ISR on upon you from bad actors, right? People that would just maliciously report you. They could literally lie, and lie enough to get YouTube to look at you, and then they may not even like, oh, this was a lie, but hey, what about this stuff over here that they missed? Right? And then boom, demonetized. And you deserved it, right? Because you didn't monitor all the content on your platform and really think about it. There's been a few people that I could list off that have been demonetized recently, and they were confused as fuck. And I could easily see valid reasons, knowing the contract, why they would and should have been demonetized months ago. But YouTube tried to give them time even, and did them a solid, let them have time to clean up their platform, maybe even send them a warning that they didn't pay attention to sometimes, right? But nope, they just kept trucking along thinking, my free speech. You don't have free speech on here. That's the brutal reality. Yeah, and it's, you can make points that you shouldn't give up and you should argue for it, but it's just like you can't be mad at them when they enforce those contracts then, because it's just like NDAs and all this stuff. You agreed to that shit. There's consequences if you violate it.
That's a fact. And if people are like, we're going to fight YouTube on this. The only way you're going to get YouTube to change their business model is if they had serious competition. That's the only way. Right now, they don't have any competition. They can do what they want to do, and they have the backing of the powers to be, the 1%. Brother Grimm had a question, man. He's like, what are your thoughts on faceless channels and YouTube automation? Is that a way to get yourself in trouble, or is that something YouTube's cool with? What's your take on all that?
In terms of entertainment, faceless channels are always going to be a negative, because it's the reason why, like, I built the studio the way that I built it and stuff like that, is because I have a really good green screen, and I have really good lights. Like here, I'll actually turn out, like, this is the real studio lights. Like that's like the kind of like I can light this thing up and get a full green screen in the background. But the thing is I realized like that actually wasn't getting me a lot of engagement. And I noticed that even on other people, like even if you have a spot on green screen and you're cutting out all the other stuff, like I was doing it for the idea that, they can see more of the game and whatnot. But the thing is that what people really want, this YouTube game is all about people watching. And that's why the studio game does matter, is because people want to tune in and see something cool, right? Like here, I'll switch over to, like, how cool is this shot, right? Like, as so many people have dubbed this the spaceship, right? And they're looking at it. When I go on other panels, like even when I turn it off, I had like Josie the other night was going like, Viking, please, type in a chat, Viking, please go back to the pan shot. Like, I need the soothing entertainment, right? Because
Yeah,
you can
like,
see the microphone is set up that reacts to any of the sound going through my microphones or coming through the speaker side of things. And so you can like see a voice meter more or less. And that visual stimulation and that people watching, like you're basically getting to see Viking in a fish tank type shit, right? And you get to go like, man, that's really cool. Like, I wonder how he did that. And it gets people's imaginations going. So they're not just even listening to what I'm saying. They're also looking at my mannerisms, listening to how good my voice sounds on this microphone. All these little things stack up. It's a compound effect.
bro, all I got to say about that setup right there is this: set a course for Vulcan, warp 6, engage. That's all I got to say about that, bro. that is so high tech, man. Fuck, bro. So okay, so I see what you're saying. So faceless channel, and YouTube automation, they're not gonna like that. So how
Well,
aggressive?
viewers aren't. No, not even them. The viewers aren't going to like that. Like, there's so many people out there that do like these StreamYard panels and stuff like that, and there'll be like maybe one, maybe two people with cameras, and then everybody else is just like faceless, throbbing avatars of some goofy shit or this, that, or the other thing. And like, you notice that even my avatar is a real shot of me in a suit looking good, right? So I don't even have some goofy cartoon avatar. So even on the faceless level, my content is already better than the average YouTube user, because I'm literally showing myself in a bomb ass suit with a white background so you can really see me and see who I am. And people can't even initially see it. Like Grid One actually thought I was a skeleton, right? That's I take that as a compliment, because I used to be a fat boy and now I'm thin. So, W weight loss, right? But the point is that even on that level, that's a professional shot that was taken by Grails, right? So at the Airbnb that I was at, right? So even my faceless is still got my face on it and still going to be looking better than most other people, right?
That's
But when
up,
you
man.
tune into a lot of these panels, I know this as just a consumer myself. I look at it and I'm just like, yo, these guys are arguing and bitching and fighting, talking over each other. It's like you go into some of these panels and you've got like 6 faceless avatars throbbing and all yelling over each other. Is that entertainment? Some people like it, but most people tune out and they don't really get any points. And that's why we have the rule, both at Fresh and Fit podcast and even in the Fresh Fit Discord, one mic at a time. That is key to helping. I'm not going to say I'm innocent of not talking over people. I'm an A-type personality, so I'm going to dominate the conversation. I'm going to run a fucking mile a minute. That's why DL Saints here, like, whoa, brother, whoa.
Yeah, I'm always yeah, whoa. And as far as we know, we have no fat shaming here, Viking. You're gonna have to start eating some Cheetos and hot dogs and get all that weight back. No fat shaming. Become a fat boy again, and you will enjoy it. Congratulations!
I enjoy it.
That,
all right,
bro.
I enjoyed. Yeah, thank you, man.
Congratulations, man. All right, so I mean, we covered so much, bro. Casual Germ, man. He's like, I just subscribed to Vikings channel. The brother is wise and deserves the support. This is why we do these collabs, man. This is why we want to open up these different voices and these different platforms to everyone, man. This is why we're dual streaming right now. You know what I mean? So, brother Vikings, his community can see me, although most of them probably know, if not know me, they know my name at least, because we roll in the same circles. You know what I mean? Or we had Big Mo jump on here for a hot second. This is what we got to do.
Yeah,
man,
for everybody on my channel, go over and follow DL Saint, right? Brother Saint got a lot of good content and has a lot of wisdom. We don't always agree, but like Myron always says, it's not about what we disagree on, it's about what we agree upon and whether or not we can agree to disagree, right? So, like I said, it ain't all perfect, but that's how you know you got your real friends, because your real friends are going to tell you if they think you're wrong. They're going to try to tell you why you're wrong, and then you can still be friends even if you don't agree.
I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong, and if we get drama later, I'm still gonna be on your side. Even though you're wrong, I'm still gonna fight. I'm gonna be with you. But then when it's all over, I'm gonna bit you out for getting us into it in the first place. Like, man, didn't I tell you not to do that shit? Yep. That's what real friends do. It's not about zeros and ones, man. Like, y'all watch my content. I'll say some shit and like, damn, I can't believe DL said that about Myron. I'm like, yeah, Myron knows what I'm saying. You're right, because I pick up the phone and text him. If I see something I don't like, I pick up the phone and I text him. You know what I mean? Like, bro, what are you doing? And he'll tell you, like, yep, sometimes I listen to Saint, sometimes I don't. but I'm always there consistently. And if he needs me, I'm there for him. Same with Fresh. If you need me, I'm there for him. So, and that's we need to learn that. Somehow we've forgotten that. Maybe we haven't been taught that with these newer generations coming up. This is something y'all need. If you want to be a real man, this is one of those aspects of being a real man. We don't always agree. So, man, so what else? I mean, we covered so much, bro. I'm sitting here, my mind is spinning. What else do we need to cover?
Take in. Well, so we were talking, like I said, it comes back down to a lot of people don't understand, about the demonetizations that have been going on. It's just like, that's part of the game, man. You got to really understand those contracts, right? You can usually get by with a lot of this content that's been getting, because once again, Access Vegas didn't get banned. They didn't get striked. They just got demonetized because they weren't fulfilling the criteria for the monetization contract anymore, right? And they hadn't been for quite a while.
What part of the contract were they not fulfilling? Because and could you please just give me a quick summary?
See, that's the thing. Rolo posted the message that he got, and see, that's I predicted what was going to happen. I said, because somebody asked me like, "Oh, did you hear that they got demonetized?" And I'm just like, "Yeah." Having watched the content for a while, I'm going to assume that they're probably going to get struck on multiple things. And there's no way they're going to be able to get out of it. So they're not going to list one particular thing that could be fixed. They're just going to say, yo, you fucked up on multiple things, and therefore you're done. Right. And that's literally what the message that Rolo posted on Twitter said that they sent him, that, due to, multiple factors, that you're now demonetized. So I can name some of them off.
Well, roll that back before you name them off. Roll it back to the beginning. Just kind of, quick elevator pitch. What exactly went wrong? Like, based on what you know, I know you don't know everything, but in your opinion, where did Rolo go wrong?
Multiple violations. So that's why I was going to list them off. So there was multiple violations that got them demonetized. Like I said, there's many, many things in the contract, talking shit about protected groups, which is pretty much everybody but white boys, right? Talking shit about the platform, showing overly sexualized women. Right. So even the thumbnail, see, that's another thing. Some of the thumbnails they have, I know they get attention, they get clicks, but Rolo fucking dropped the ball on that, or whoever he's got making the thumbnails heavily dropped the ball on that, because they literally got girls spread eagle, like on their last screenshot. Now that they're demonetized, they got a girl spread eagle and you can see her crotch. Right.
Oh,
right. With her legs spread. That's overly sexualized content. Even if there's nothing graphic, that's on the thumbnail. That's over sexualization. So that way, even though if their channel's geared not towards minors, they're still more or less putting that out there in a way that a minor could potentially see if that channel comes up on a list that they're going through on the internet. So that's another one of those rules in the monetization contract. You can't have overly sexualized things in the thumbnail. There's a line you got to walk with that. You can have things like swimsuits and bikinis and stuff like that, and women in scantily clad clothing for the most part, but you can't have things like bent over, legs spread, in real sexual positions, as well as bondage gear. Right. Okay. That's another thing. So those sort of things where they're showing this OnlyFans, these safe OnlyFans pictures, these things are not safe for work. So when it comes to the thumbnail stuff, the stuff has to be generally safe for work. So they fucked up on making fun of YouTube and about getting demonetized all the time. They fucked up on the sexualization of the thumbnails. Those are two things right there. Both of those alone by themselves are subject to demonetization, especially if you've been doing it for a period of time, and you should know better by now. Right. And that's the way they're looking at it. They probably went back and did a 5-month review, and they're looking at it oh, every show is like this. They got overly sexualized women. And then when you get into the content, now they're making fun of YouTube about how they're threatened to be demonetized and stuff like that if they talk about stuff. And they're just beating that dead horse over and over again. And then they're also talking about controversial things. Right. And in certain situations, it might not be kept as respectful as they would like. So once again, it's like a icing and cherry on top of the cake. They baked that whole fucking cake and decorated it. And now they don't get a specific criticism. They get, you just fucked up across the board and you're done. Right. And now what they'd have to do is go back and delete everything that was bad that broke those monetization terms. And it's on them to realize what they did wrong and fix it. And then they would potentially have to wait 6 months, 3 to 6 months, to even get reviewed again to see if they fix their shit before they would even be entertained possibly for monetization. And you can and will be left in that limbo permanently if you don't fix your shit, and even if you do fix your shit after you fuck up.
Damn. So, but you're saying that this wasn't just they just came after him. Like you're saying that there was more than likely they were getting warnings or
They probably got mass reported by multiple people that were bad actors, but then when they actually did the review, they found some shit that gave them justification to enforce the contract.
Also, maybe there wasn't a warning. Then they were like, "Oh shit, we see all this now. Okay, we got to do what we got to do."
Yes,
okay.
That's the thing. It's not their responsibility to tell you if you're fucking up or how you fucked up. It's your responsibility. Right. That's once again in the terms of service and stuff like that. It's your responsibility as a content creator to be aware of everything on your platform. That's why you can't even use the excuse if something happens on your platform of say, well, it was so and so that said it. Well, the thing is, if you don't discourage it or even reprimand it and stuff like that, and it's on your platform and you leave it there, you're still responsible for everything that is on your platform. That includes what we're saying right now, everything in the comment section. If you don't moderate it, that's why it's important to have good moderators for both your, live chat and your video chat and stuff like that. Because if you don't moderate that shit and say people are posting certain fascist group imagery in the comments of the videos, and you don't censor that shit, you're violating the TOS and all that stuff. And now you're subject to enforcement of the TOS and the monetization contract. And like I said, there's overlap with both of them, but it's just that the rules for the monetization are a little bit more strict, but they still have very similar rules overall.
I get that. So Maj, y'all heard it here first, man. Do me a solid. If in doubt, just do what you do, Maj. Just do what you do. I will not get mad at you. If in doubt, handle your business. You got just another Canadian in the building, and Isaac Icarus Rising in the building. Yo folks up in here, appreciate y'all coming through. I really does. Yes, definitely W to the Maj. So with everything that's happened to content creators, especially in the world that we rock in, is whatever next? Or do you think, because I know you've seen some of their content, do you think that they're pretty much okay? But I mean, they have some girls at the table there dressing very provocatively, doing kind of stuff. You think in the content, of course, do you think they're next?
As long as it's the main thing of contention that I just discussed would be like if it's in the thumbnail, right? The over sexualization in the thumbnail is something specifically talked about in the monetization contract. I remember reading. I don't remember all the details, but like I said, I did make a mental note of, okay, so I need to keep my thumbnails mostly like PC or PG-13, right? For a little bit of context. Right now, in terms of the show with having scantily clad women, as long as the channel is not geared towards minors, you got it set to 18 plus and stuff like that in the back end of things on YouTube. And you said, yeah, I'm not trying to appeal to kids, right? That's all stuff that you got to handle on the back end. And in terms of the presentation, I'd say that what I've seen so far, because I don't watch whatever that much, their presentation is pretty good, but they do have situations where girls, I guess one girl flashed her titties or some shit like that.
Yeah,
I've heard that sort of stuff. And when that stuff happens, that's unfortunate. It's just like on these panels, if somebody gets put up that was trusted and then they flash their junk, right? Immediately you got to end the stream and delete that shit, right?
Yeah.
Or put it behind, someplace. You just basically got to get it off of there. Like you can privatize it, download it, and then delete it, right? But basically the idea is you got to get it off the platform ASAP and get it in a place where it can't be seen and or mass reported. Right. So if anything, like just for a little bit of a practical advice, if anything like that does happen to any of you, if you're doing a platform or you're say co-streaming to somebody else's platform, because this is why I typically don't go live on a lot of these platforms, because you get a lot of these random people pop up and they start, saying shit they shouldn't, they don't realize they should. And even if you correct them, they try to act like that's not true because they didn't read the shit and they're ignorant. And then, like I said, it's something that is risky if you're going to be having it. So like I said, at the end of the day, you're responsible for everything that's on your platform, right? And you got to take accountability for that. A lot of people don't like to. And this is where we get into that back and forth about, well, YouTube. It's just like, well, that's like complaining about the man holding you down, right? It's just like there's rules to life. And in this case, you actually agreed to the rules and didn't bother read the rules. You can't be mad when you play a game, didn't read the rule book, and now you're being told you broke the rules, right? That's what I see a lot, even from like high tier players in the game. They didn't bother read that stuff. And I'm like, how is it that me, just the fucking internet guy, right, knows more about this stuff than these people that have millions and millions of followers? That boggles my mind personally.
Not because you
because I
read it.
actually did the due diligence. Grandpa always said, you don't, you know, that's why I never got married. He said, you know, always read the fine print and never sign a one-sided contract. Right. And now I
Yeah.
will say there's a caveat to that. YouTube is a one-sided contract, right? It's heavily favored in their you know, ability to make changes, because that's the other thing too. They word it specifically in there. They can make changes at any time without notification for whatever they want, and they don't have to even make an excuse or a reason. They can just do that. People say, "Oh, that's wrong." It's just like, that's how it's worded, and you agreed to it. And now you're mad because you just found out. Like, yo, that makes you look stupid in my eyes, but that's because I know.
Same thing with marriage in the West. I mean, I don't listen. If you want to get married in America, go ahead, knock yourself out. But if it goes bad, don't cry to nobody, bro. You know, you didn't read it. Like you said, if you want to sign that one-sided contract, no matter what that contract is, if it goes sideways, the only person you can be mad at is the person looking back at you in the mirror. And that's how I look at it. Like, hey man, it is what it is.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
not
you
doing it. If
served,
you want
you
to do it,
served
fine.
too. So I'm sure you
Yeah.
encountered guys that, you know, they signed that contract and they got more than they bargained for because they didn't read what they were getting into,
Yeah, they
right?
got
And
the
they had bad expectations of the result, right? When they didn't get what they thought they were going to get, they get mad and butthurt about it. And it's just like, but you signed the contract. You should have known. That's your responsibility.
Yeah, tons of guys like that. We were, we were air traffic controllers. A lot of guys will sign up to be an air traffic controller. It was 93 Charlie back then when I enlisted, and that was the MOS code. And they were thinking, this is a great job, air traffic controller. I'm going to be in a nice air conditioned tower. I'm gonna work a 9 to 5 or whatever. This is what they were thinking. And I knew I was airborne. I was going to airborne school. I knew what that meant. Sometimes you ain't got to go to airborne school to get assigned to an airborne unit. So there was dudes assigned to our unit crying. This ain't what I signed up for. I'm like, this is exactly what you signed up for. It's the United States Army, man. You got us Army on your shirt. You're a GI, man. That's government issue. They can do what they want to you. Right? So pack up your gear. You're coming over to this war with us. But oh, my buddies in basic, they all got to go over here, or AIT, they all got to go to those nice facilities. Goody gumdrops for them. But you coming with us. So it's just one of those
Yeah,
things.
like congratulations, you got the short stick.
Yeah, welcome to the clan. So I saw that a lot, bro. A whole lot. It was hilarious. Damn, this was a great show. I know we didn't cover everything. I think it's impossible for us to cover everything in one sitting, but I think we did a really good job nailing down what you did nail down today. Now, is there anything else that you wanted to cover?
No, that was pretty much it. Like I said, there's a lot of, or like you said, there's a lot of nuance that we could go into about different things. But like I said, all that information for anybody that's curious is contained within those monetization contracts and the TOS, right? Jumping back real quick to what was mentioned about the mods. I was just giving guys advice. Like, people wonder why the Fresh and Fit Discord is kept so clean compared to other Discords. And it's not because we're authoritarian, it's because we respect and understand the rules that we agreed to. So our rule set is governed by, we go by the TOS, right? The terms of service rules. And then we have a reasonable set of rules to basically tell people how to conduct themselves with basic manners, right? And if you violate those rules and you don't have manners, yeah, we're probably going to be banned up out of the fucking Fresh and Fit Discord in no time. But if you're somebody that has basic manners and you can follow the rules you agreed to on the platform, it's a beautiful place to be at in terms of like conversing with people, because we can have a heated back and forth and good conversations, but we keep it one mic at a time. Everybody gets a turn. Everybody gets to say their piece as long as they follow those manners, rules, and whatnot. And you can coexist with others. And then at the end of the day, agree to disagree if you can't come to a consensus. Right. That's where a lot of people can't let shit go. They're too outcome dependent. They got to see results in the way that they imagined rather than in what is going to happen in reality. So same thing applies to moderation on YouTube and whatnot, is the rules, and now I'm gonna, if you know the rules, and so do I, Rick roll a few people here, but that's the point. It's like, if you know the rules, the game is technically rigged. But if you know the rules, like, there's ways to play the system, right? Don't hate the player, hate the game. And to play the game, you got to know the rules, right? It doesn't matter what you're doing in life. I was a gamer. I've been a gamer my whole life. That's how I got into this space doing this stuff the way that I do, is because my dad taught me strategies, taught me chess, taught me Risk, taught me Monopoly, taught me all these games. And then we got into video games and stuff. And this builds strategies in the mind. understands tactician stuff, right? Being able to maneuver through places. And another example, right? When it comes to, real quick, I'll touch on the censorship thing where people are going like, you're like, oh, but I should be able to say what I want to say. And it's just like, yeah, you should, but that's not the reality, right? That's a should, would, could. In reality, this is like going over your grandparents' house and you're not allowed to cuss, right? That's how most people need to think about the YouTube space, is that you're in another person's house. You agreed to the rules. They told you to take your shoes off at the door, and you decided to walk in with muddy boots and traipse over the place rather than taking them off at the door, right? That's what a lot of people do when they would say free speech. They really came in with muddy boots and are walking all over the damn house, right? And they don't realize that that's what they're doing. It's a metaphor, but that's the way that you should look at it if you want to understand why people are going to get treated the way they do. They went into the house. The rules were right by the door. They didn't read the rules, and it said, take your shoes off at the door and, don't be traipsing muddy boots around the house. And they come in like, oh, I should be able to just walk where I want to. It's just like, no, you're in another person's house and you need to respect the rules, right? And in this case, like when you going back to the Fresh and Fit Discord, we are renting Discord's house and then occupying it with our people, right? So we got to respect the landlord's rules, and then we got our own house rules, right? And so that's where people get tripped up, is that they don't realize that there's two rule sets they needed to read when they came in the door, and they come in with muddy boots thinking that they're free. It's like, no, you're not free. You're only allowed, but you being entered shows that you have to take your boots off at the door and don't be tracking them muddy fuckers all throughout the house, right?
That's a great metaphor, bro. And it's true. It's absolutely 100% true. You can't come in my house and do what you want to do. You got to respect my rules. You come in my house and do what you want to do, man. You're going to have to leave. Right? You can't come into my place of business. When I was growing up, there would always be a sign outside of a lot of stores: no shoes, no shirt, no service. But now people want to walk in there with just shorts on and, barefoot, and they want to walk around the store. And I'm like, no, you can't come in here like that, man. You need a shirt and you need some shoes. And it's like, it's my freedom of expression. Well, you go express yourself over there somewhere. You can't buy nothing out of here, bro. And that's where we are right now, man. So as we're winding down, are you involved with Castle Club at all over in the Fresh and Fit world? Since we're talking about Fresh and Fit, we might as well talk about the Fresh and Fit world.
I'm a member. I'm in Castle Club, and I'm also in Fresh's CEO Network.
CEO Network, that's what's up, man. Because I really respect Fresh's CEO Network. That's one of the best networks as far as learning how to network and being effective. Fresh has Miami on lock, and it has been fascinating to watch him grow his network. So it was like, okay, I'm just in Miami. And now you're just watching it where he has people in London, people in Dubai. He has people in Colombia. He has people in Japan, right? He has people popping up all over America.
Fresh and Fit is global. It's not just Fresh, but the whole network is global. But Fresh is really kind of locked down on some key players in the network, and you got guys like me in there, right? Guys like in that network, you hit me up, I got your back, man. Like I said, if you got the money, I got the time.
Yep. And when Fresh started that up, he was like, man, I got this thing going. I want you in there. I'm like, fine. He sent me a link and everything. And then they moved it. Something happened and they moved it. And I just didn't get back to Fresh. But I'm part of that network. So if there's anyone out there who's in the Fresh and Fit network and you're like, yo, I wanted to talk to Uncle Saint about something, all you got to do is type it in the disc or in the chat there in the network. And it's going to be half a dozen or more guys going to be like, yo, hit him up. Here's where you can find him. So I am a part of that network. And this is the key with networking, right? Just like guys have forgotten how to be loyal to one another, people don't know how to network. Say what you want about Fresh and Fit. If you don't like the bad stuff, that's fine. But there's plenty of good stuff over there for young men to grow and become better men, in my opinion. I go through this with a whole bunch of people. And a lot of folks are just like, man, you just caping for your boys. I see the bad stuff, but I really see the good. And I think the good outweighs the bad. What's your take on that?
I agree. Like I said, it's very funny to me when I got guys, like Based Oracle coming to me. I didn't want to bring him up, but when he comes to me talking shit about Fresh so much, like not even just Fresh and Fit, but Fresh specifically, acting like he's a bad example. It's just like, but imagine, I was good at networking from my time judging Yu-Gi-Oh! right? I had to, get good at like playing with other players and, delivering them information about the rule book and how the rules are played versus how the show plays, right? That was my claim to fame back then, is I was the guy who actually reading the rule book and explaining it to people. So store owner locked on to me and was like, yo, like, you think you'd want to run tournaments for me? You think you'd want to judge for me rather than playing? Like, I don't want to take you out the game, but you seem to be really good at it and you seem to be extremely unbiased and you'll even rule against yourself. Like, that was the key thing that stood out to him, is that I would tell other people how to beat me. I wouldn't win on technicalities. I would only win on merit. I would literally stop people from making mistakes that would cause them to lose. I would correct them and make them make the right play. Even if they did, I'd fight them over it. Like, no, you're going to lose if you do it this way. You need to do it this way. This is a mistake. I want you to get better. I want to win through actual winning, not because you screwed up. And it was only because you didn't know this part about the rules, and I could show it to you right here in the rule book. So I learned networking when I ended up agreeing to that. And I was going around, he ended up creating this business where he was running tournaments all over like 4 different states. And I was the go-to guy, me and the other guy that was ended up running the tournaments, who was a family man. And so I just was traveling around networking. But here's the thing. What I learned from that was clarified through Fresh's example, when Fresh was talking about adding value and things like that. Right? That's what I did for Fresh and Fit. I showed up as a moderator, added value there. And then when they were having internet problems that I knew, because I'm smart with this shit, I knew they were going to have those problems eventually, because I understood the infrastructure and shit like that. So I already had told my girl, like back in before that, before the podcast even started, that Myron was going to need my help with the internet eventually. And I was going to be on his team. Right? I predicted it, but I just sat back. I didn't try to force anything to happen preemptively. I just sat back and waited for them to identify the problem and then offer a solution. Right? And that all those networking things, right, is that it's all about offering solutions to people's problems, not trying to like solve your own problems, right? That's what mistake that a lot of motherfuckers make in networking, is that they think they got to network by like trying to find people that can solve their problems. No, the best way to network is to find people that need your expertise to solve their problems. Right. And then when you solve their problems, that's when they're going to be more interested in helping you solve your problems, even if it's just financial problems, like they're willing to pay you. I worked for free at first. I asked Myron, or Myron asked me one day, like, you want to get paid? Like, because I was just getting shout outs for a while there. Right. I told him point blank, like, I'm working for free because of all the information you gave me with my fitness, saved my life, put my life on track. Right. That was the foundation, right? Getting fit. But I'm indebted to you because that, so I'm going to work for free. And he's just like, no, man, like what you do is valid. Like, I want to pay you. Like, I'm just like, well, pay me what you feel is worth what you got from me. And we'd only worked for, it was like 40 some odd minutes. He paid me $100 and that set my rate. I work for $100 an hour now because of Fresh and Fit. That's what they both pay me. If they hire me for work, I get paid $100 an hour for what they know. And that was an honor to me that Myron would value my expertise on that level.
It's $100 an hour plus you get the yearly Lamborghini. Tell them everything, man. Tell them about the bonus structure. You get the yearly Lamborghini.
I haven't got any Lamborghinis included in that, but I did get to go for a ride in Aston Martin. So that was fun.
There you go. And I'm just joking, guys. Don't nobody clip this. Like, Viking is getting a Lamborghini. Patty has a question. Like, what's the purpose of Discord? Seems like it's for nerds and people without lives. I can see how someone would make that determination from the outside looking in. I could see that. We're talking about networking in its different forms, right? I'm 100% I'm a networker, but I go outside. And Viking and I were talking about this today. Viking was like, bro, I sent you that link to Discord. You ain't respond. I'm like, my bad, bro. I'm old. I don't really fuck with Discord like that. But here's the thing. Technology has made it such that we have all these different ways to, in fact, network. Discord is just one of many, right?
Yep.
So I can see that from the outside looking in, like, man, it's just like a bunch of nerds in there, playing video games and talking shit. And maybe some Discords are like that. But if you find yourself a good one is an effective network, I'll give you an example. If you're in the Fresh and Fit Discord, right? Let's say you're just sitting there and you're about to go to some big city, name the city, and you go have a nice meal because you heard someone talk about some nice restaurants, and you can go in that Discord and be like, hey guys, I'm going to New York and I want to go to a nice restaurant. I've saved up some money. I want to have a good experience. Do you guys have any suggestions? All the dudes in Discord at that moment might be like, nah, man, we don't know nothing about that shit. But DL Saint does. He's always on his platform talking about his favorite restaurants. Like, dude's kind of a foodie, we think. That Discord will put you in touch with me, even though I'm not in the Discord physically, like in there. I'm on there. I'm registered. I got
it's funny you should mention that, because I
Go
can
ahead.
already give a recommendation for New York, Bernardin, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why I know about that is because one of the other moderators in there, he's a 3-star Michelin chef. Shout out to you, Rain. Right, and he's the one that taught me how to make the 3-star eggs and whatnot, the Gordon Ramsay eggs. So
There you go.
we do got people in there already that can give you excellent recommendations, not just like where to go for restaurants, but he can literally tell you how to cook the dishes that they serve in there and stuff like that too, if he's willing to give you the time, right? You got to be cool with him. He ain't going to give in to that shit just cuz. But the point is that the Discord that we have set up is used for networking. A lot of the networking I've done, I live in the cold north of the USA, right? I ain't out in the streets like that. Like, I don't have access like DL does to be able to just go out in Florida and whatnot. That's part of why I did travel the last couple of years, was to establish those networks. That's why I was able to meet DL and network with him at the CME and stuff like that. But part of how I got onto that was being in the Fresh and Fit Discord, being part of the mod team, interacting with people, interacting with Big Mo, Icy. Big Mo and Icy are two of my best friends, right? So like, I've done stuff with these people in real life, but a lot of the networking, like I said, I met the gentleman that's been teaching me the enterprise level of the internet stuff that I was already autodidact, self-taught on a lot of this stuff, but now he's able to teach me shit that I didn't know. Right? Imagine that, like somebody that's actually so good at this stuff that he's above my level. He's literally in the enterprise level, the true like corporate business level of networking and building internet structure and stuff like that. Right? So this is somebody that does what I do, but he's already won the game, right? Over in the UK. And now he's able to teach me. I met that individual through the Fresh and Fit Discord. I would not have met him without the Discord being there and being a networking platform. Yes, a majority of people that like Discord started out for like gamers to be able to do voice chatting while in games, so that way they could communicate and strategize and stuff like that. That was the original development, but it's snowballed from there. Now, if you're really about it, like DL said, and you get into some of these better controlled Discords where there's other people, you can network in there. I've networked with so many people. Those are just some examples that have given me information I never would have access to, right? In ways that I never would have easily been able to access some of these people before. Now I can communicate with them, and I'm not just doing nerd shit. I'm doing nerd shit too, but I'm doing real business. I got another man from Kazakhstan who wants me to, like, as soon as I get my passport, he wants me to fly out and build his studio, right? So it's like, once again, like, would I have access to that person in Kazakhstan? Like, without Discord? No. Without the Fresh and Fit clout and drawing people in? No. Right? So the Fresh and Fit name draws the people in, and then you can kind of sort through and meet people. And once again, that networking example that Fresh said, by offering free value to people like I'm doing right now, like, yo, this is the game about this stuff. There's other things that I could, go like crazy on and talk about it. DL knows, like, he's the guy that's like trying to rein me in, like, yo, hold up, Viking, hold up. Like, you're giving him too much sauce. They can't handle it.
Exactly.
I'm that
I'm
guy.
like, man, yeah, I'm like, slow it down. Don't give away the farm. But you see, Patty, this is what we're talking about. Like, for those folks who are out there old like me, your network opportunities came within stuff like the Masons or the Shriners, fraternal organizations like frats and sororities, or military, or like you join like the Fraternal Order of Police, or you join the NRA, or you join whatever you join. Now they have technology in such a way that you can join these Discords. It's not just Fresh and Fit. It's it's so many other content creators out there that, even if you're just consistently in someone's chat, that is a form of networking, because you're gonna make friends,
name recognition,
and you're gonna make folks who rock with you, like this brother right here, Demon Fingers in the building. You know what I mean? Like, guys like this, these are folks that we've met. Yeah, we've met folks like this through chats, through this new technology. So I again, what you said, Patty, made sense. I can see how people will view it that way. I view it as just another means to network, because I'm telling you, man, an effective network will affect your net worth. And that's just something that I've learned over the years. If you want to you really want to know how to make some bread, man, and you sit next to a billionaire, you sit next to a multimillionaire, they're going to give you the sauce for free, because millionaires love making millionaires. They love making other people wealthy. And it's just one of their things because they got everything else, man. So that I think that's the answer. I know it's a long, drawn out answer, but that's the answer anyway. It is what it is. Appreciate y'all out there.
An easier way to put it, to sum it up for people, is that just like money is a tool. Depending on the user of the tool, you'll get different results, right? Same thing with the internet in general and platforms on the internet. They are tools. Yes, many people might use the internet tool to just goof off and play video games, but there's a few of us out here that use it for more than that. Yeah, I still use it for playing video games and communicating, but I use it for much, much more. Because actually, Demon Figure, shout out to him, he always says, yo, Discord ain't real life, right? Because some people do get too invested, and he's spot on with that. But the thing is that there are real life people in the Discord. So it's all about understanding the separation between fantasy and reality, understanding how the tool can get used correctly. And, you know, a good example of using it incorrectly is just like, you know, mentally masturbating, playing video games and getting dopamine hits all day. That's like a drug addict, you know, using the pain meds too much versus somebody like getting the real medicine and only taking it as long as they actually need it to get the job done.
Right. Living with a little pain, being comfortable, you know, get comfortable being uncomfortable, all those good stuff. All those good things. And you're welcome. Hey, Patty, you're absolutely welcome. I think it's the first time I've seen you on this platform. Please come back. You're always welcome here. Hey, sometimes we get hot and heavy over here, but we're always respectful. You know what I mean? Like I came up in the 70s, man. I'm one of those dudes that actually been hitting his mouth before. So I'm used to that. So sometimes we get into that over here. But most of the time we're just spreading information and doing our best to put things through the old think tank, man, because that's what you got to do in life, man. You got to put it through the old
think tank. Arch, nothing gets past the old think tank. Nothing
gets past the think tank. They taught us how to, you know, critically think in school. That's why we went to school. But today I have a child in school. They don't teach them shit. So I'm teaching my daughter how to critically think, and it's harder than you think. So, bro, this was an outstanding interview, man. It was well worth the wait. Don DeMarco, to you, man. So again, let people know where they can find you, bro. Offer up all your services, all that good shit. I'm gonna give you the screen all by yourself.
Yep. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for letting me, you know, like derail a little bit and go on the side tangents and get all the information out there. I know it's a lot for people to take in. It's like trying to drink out of a fire hose talking to me sometimes. But you can find me over on my channel, Viking Paradigm. I can drop a link in the chat, I believe, here. Hold on, I'll get that. But like I said, I'm working on my website right now because the hold up on that is just trying to get a good schedule. That's why I'm trying to get a lot of like these interviews and shows that I promise to people out of the way, so that way I can focus on building a good foundation for the schedule, right? Because I want to do some gaming content and stuff like that as well too. But yeah, you can find me over there at the Viking Paradigm, pretty much online, most platforms. You can find that. I got all the socials, right, at Viking Paradigm. You'll be able to find me. And yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot more content, a lot more collabs. And like I said, I am just a preacher of truth, right? I just try to, you know, to call it like I see it and say it as clearly as I can as I see it. And then if you believe me, you can pick and choose. That's up to you. I'm outcome independent. I don't need you to believe me, but if you want to listen to me, I am honored that you would actually hear me out. So for anybody listening, thank you, and stay tuned. I got a lot more in the pipeline.
Man, I appreciate you, man. Don't forget to like and subscribe out there, people. That's for brother Viking Paradigm for being the G with it. For those who came in late, you're definitely going to want to watch this one from the beginning. This is, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. This is one of my personal favorite videos I've ever done, interviews I've ever had. So much information. I'm going to have to go back and watch this a few times my damn self just so I can sort through it all. That's how much information we drop. Definitely talking to Viking is like drinking water from a fucking fire hose, bro. It ain't a little water hose. It's a fucking fire hose with the thing turned on. That's how much, if it was like, oh shit, let me get something. But hey, bro, it is what it is. This was great. Thank y'all so much for rocking out with me. All of the folks over there on Vikings platform who were dual streaming with us, thank you so much for coming over here, and I appreciate all the kind words. We appreciate your time. Please like, please subscribe. That's one of the things I haven't been doing. I need to do that more often. Like and subscribe. Watch the video, wait 5 minutes before you like, and then comment, because we learned all that right here. All right, so for brother Viking, I'm DL Saint. This is that I Really Want to Know podcast, but I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Peace.
seen. It's just a thing of beauty.
Darn, that's the end.